Welcome to New York Got Game.
Welcome back to another edition of New York Got Game. We are getting close to the end of the NBA regular season. It's crunch time for the Knicks, where they are going to have to produce against a bunch of teams that are either in playoff spots or in the play-in. And it's a very important week for the Knicks. We will see how they do thus far. It's going to be a lot of Knicks talk going on from this point on this show. And this week, we're going to talk to some people who do a little creation around the Knicks, help bring the Knicks fans together. We're going to get right to that interview right now.
The Knicks are heating up.
The NBA season is winding down, and we're in the final month of the regular season. The playoffs start on April 20th, and the Knicks, they're looking very much like a team that will play in the postseason. However, seeding is still up in the air. Now, if you were reasonable and a rational Knickerbockers fan, I think you'd probably consider the regular season a success for the team and a relatively enjoyable experience. Speaking of enjoyable experiences, there are two women who are a major part of the Knicks community and are all about creating great experiences for fans who love the blue and orange. They represent Fort Greene, Brooklyn all day and every day. And they're joining me in studio now, the founders of Knicks OmniFan, Jasmine and Jennifer Gordon. Ladies, how you doing?
We're amazing.
Yes.
Dex, first of all, thank you so much for having us today.
It's an honor.
Well,
Totally.
You know what? You guys say it's an honor. I've known you guys for a little bit. I love what you do. I love what you do for the Knicks community and the events you put on. We're going to get into all that.
Of course.
These are, I'm going to say it, the premier in terms of creating events and opportunities for Knicks fans to gather together in the Knicks community. So it's good. I'll ask you guys, how are you guys enjoying just the season that's been interesting up and down? Are you fine? Are you happy Knicks fans?
We are.
Are you stressed Knicks fans? What's the vibes?
Happy and stressed.
I would say
those are two
I think being stressed is definitely a synonym for being a Knicks fan, but we're so happy. I mean, this has been a rewarding season so far. We've overcome so many obstacles, and we're still in contention for a high playoff spot. I mean, we just love this team. We're in love.
Now, you guys do love this team. We're going to get into all of that, your fandom, how you experience it with other fans. And as I said, these are the founders and creators of Knicks OmniFan. So, ladies, I want to start off with this and ask you, can you tell me about the inspiration behind Knicks OmniFan for people that don't know what Knicks OmniFan is? And basically, how did this all come to fruition? How did you get this started?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. OmniFan actually started as a Facebook group called Fort Knicks, and it's an ode to Fort Greene, of course, and our love for the Knicks.
Absolutely. And then, obviously, our fandom continued on through high school, which is when we became known as the Knicks Sisters, affectionately. The 99 team just grabbed us. It literally solidified our fandom, and it really made us know that sports had to be a part of something that we were doing in the future.
Yeah.
And you knew it was just going to be that, and no matter what. Did you ever think going from the Knicks Sisters to Knicks OmniFan, did you think that was going to happen?
Well, no, you can never kind of. I mean, you can foresee to some degree that you're going to be. The Knicks will be involved in our future to some degree, but I mean, no, we could never foresee this.
Yeah,
as it is.
We knew that we wanted to do something sports related, something, in the entrepreneurial world, but we had no clue what that was actually going to be or what that was going to look like. And so it's just great to be in this space.
Absolutely.
So to follow up on that, I have to ask you, how did you then realize you knew you wanted to do something with the Knicks, right?
Absolutely.
How did you then realize and say, hey, I want to do something for the fans? Because that's a very intentional choice there.
Absolutely.
So how did that come about?
Absolutely. I mean, we're fans ourselves, and we felt there was some kind of disconnect between, the team and the fans. And we felt like there was such a need for the fans to be highlighted, acknowledged, brought together. I mean, obviously, we're doing so much engagement on social media, and we're like, listen, let's get our thinking caps on, let's brainstorm and see how we can put together a concept where we're connecting, entertaining, and also rewarding fans. And so that is genuinely the way OmniFan came to be.
And that was the genesis of Knicks OmniFan.
Yes.
Jasmine, I want to ask you this because, when you talk about the experience and what you guys create, how does Knicks OmniFan's events, because you guys have events, how does that create a great experience for New York Knicks supporters?
Right. Well, so our main mission is to provide experiences for fans that they're not going to get through the traditional ticketing methods, right? So if you're not a season ticket subscriber, as a regular fan, you don't have access to player meet and greets or, just any of the things that you really want as a fan, right? So whether it's an event at the Garden where you're getting pregame warm-up access or even shooting a free throw on the MSG court, these are memories that will last forever, and that's what we want to bring to the table. We want to give fans experiences that they wouldn't normally get. And in terms of bringing fans together, there were so many. We would be at events and people would come up to us and say, man, I've been looking for this for so long. Like, I'm the only Knicks fan in my family, or I don't have any Knicks fan friends. And just hearing that just brings it full circle, because that is what we want to bring. That's what we want to set things apart. Like, you can come and be a family with us.
I always find it interesting when people create something out of something that they know and experiences you guys have of fans, right? And then see that need for other people. And then it's always pretty dope when it's reflected back to you, right? When you see that.
Absolutely.
There.
The best.
It's the best. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
I remember I saw you guys, I think it was at a game last year, I was at the Timberwolves game, and I had my daughter down in the court, and you guys were having one of the experiences for fans to come and have the meet and greet. And I was like, man, this is great. I know what that would have meant to me growing up watching the Knicks as a fan in Brooklyn. So, Jennifer, let me ask you this, because when you talk about that, what you heard your sister say, Jasmine say there, what sets Knicks Omni fan apart from other fan experiences? Because there's other places that fans can go for experiences.
This is true.
So what sets you guys apart from what other people do?
Absolutely. Well, first off, let me just say the vibe. The vibe is where it's at, but also it's our attention to detail. Like, we're harsh critics ourselves, so we're literally putting on events and hosting things that we would want to go to ourselves. So if it doesn't pass the Jen and Jazz test, then it's not happening. So we're looking at all kinds of factors like location. I mean, we want to know if it's accessible to public transportation. We want to, the decor matters, all the ambiance. All these things go into an experience, and we want to deliver on the highest level of all these things. I mean, we're also keeping things engaging, so we're interfacing with all the attendees. I mean, they've become a family to us. And aside from that, like I said, we do trivia, we do raffles, we keep things fun, we keep things engaging, and we want to do things that we would want to do ourselves. So we're not going to have anybody come to any event that we wouldn't want to go to ourselves.
Right. See, I think that's a pretty good rule to have. You can't. Nobody wants to come to a whack watch party. Nobody wants it to not be enjoyable. Like, nobody wants this. You don't want this at all. So I feel like I trust your test, because I've been around you guys. You guys have good vibes. So I trust you.
Thank you.
Now, with that being said, and for those who don't know, these ladies have done many events over the years. I've seen you guys both at Knicks watch parties and games. All right, so when you do this amount of events, you've been doing things for some time. You guys are veterans in the game. What are some memorable moments and or experiences that are near and dear to your heart from Knicks Omni-fan events? I'm going to ask you first, Jennifer. I'm going to put it to you first.
That's cool. All right, so one moment that stands out for me is we had a proposal at one of our events. This guy, he hit us up, he slid in our DMs, and he let us know that he wanted to propose to his girlfriend. Obviously, that's always a risk. But we were able to pull it off. Thank God she said yes. And he had his on-court proposal right at center court, post-game, with a whole entire group of fans who had just left the lounge, a luxury lounge at the Garden. I mean, that's amazing in itself. But we had a whole proposal right there at one of our events. I mean, another one, I don't want to take this away from you.
No, go ahead.
Another one that we've had, I mean, again, this was a full circle moment for me specifically, because Chris Childs was my favorite player. I know he wasn't the star, but he was scrappy, and I love defensive-minded players. So Chris Childs he was like my number one.
That's a fact.
And we were able to host a watch party with Chris Childs last season for the playoffs. So he came from Florida, and I mean, he was so gracious. He stayed the entire time. We booked him for a certain amount of time, but he stayed the entire time, took pictures with any and everybody. I mean, he was a class act. So it was amazing. It was amazing.
For you as a fan, I'm going to get to you in a second there, Jasmine, because for you as a fan, that had to be great. Now, I also want to know, I think there was a lot of pressure on these ladies with the proposal, because had that gone wrong and that woman said no to that man,
exactly,
I feel like he would have blamed the Knicks Omni fan man.
I mean, he could have, listen, it could have gone a number of ways. And thank God we don't even have to go down that road and speculate, because it went off. It went off perfectly.
Without a hitch.
Without a hitch.
I'm glad that it did.
Seamless.
Jasmine, what about you? For you, is there a memorable moment or really one that stands out for you at one of these events that you've done?
Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt, it's having our commercials and being featured by the actual Knicks organization. It's just a whole full circle moment again for us, just thinking back to high school, Jen and Jazz, to now being able to seen on such a large scale, and it never gets old for us. This commercial still air, and we still get giddy sometimes.
Absolutely. We transport back to high school kids.
Yeah, we love it, and that is an absolute highlight that is forever locked in our memories.
No,
absolutely.
That one has to be good because whenever I see the commercial, I smile. I told you guys this before. I smile when I see you guys in the commercials. I smile as we're looking at these wonderful pictures of fans gathering at your events. It just makes it happy to see how the Knicks community is and how they've bonded together, and that you guys are also able to bring them together. So that's good.
We're family.
Yeah.
Right.
Chris Childs, a proposal,
Yes.
a commercial. Pretty good for some two ladies from Brooklyn.
Yes, that's right.
Now, you know how Brooklynites, you know how we do. We always do great. So I have to let that be known.
That's right.
It's pretty great for you guys being Knicks fans and being able to have that experience.
It's rewarding.
Rewarding. Okay. Let's talk about the Knicks. Let's get back.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's take a little step aside from
Yes.
Knicks Omni fan. We're going to come back to that, though. This one for you both, because this season, the 2023-24 season, has been an interesting one. We heard Jennifer say she's been happy and stressed at the same time. I'm not sure if that is the best vibe to be in, but that is the situation. What are your reflections on the team's performance this year? Jasmine, I'm going to start with you because it's been so interesting with the health, with the way they started to where they are now. What's been your reflections on the team's performance thus far this year?
Yeah, if I could use one word, it would be perseverance. This team is not giving up by any means. There's no situation that we can't overcome. Everybody has the next man up mentality. There's no egos, and we're all just supporting each other. There's one common goal. And when you have that, you really can't lose.
Absolutely.
Even though the refs, they may, affect things one way or the other. But, as long as we're connected, as long as the team, because we consider ourselves a part of the team.
We're collective.
Well.
It's a collective.
But as long as the team is connected with each other and they are just striving, we can't ask for anything more than that as fans.
Absolutely. And I would like to piggyback on that.
Sure.
And just saying that the reason why I feel like we've had the level of success that we've had this season is because the egos are out the window. There are no egos. We're moving as one organism, and that is where we're shining. We know that they trust each other. They have each other's backs on and off the court. They thoroughly, genuinely enjoy playing with one another, and they're friends.
Right, you see the smiles on the court.
It's just infectious. The chemistry is there, and we haven't had this level of chemistry in a while. It literally ignites the team and ignites the fans.
I feel that as somebody covering the team, as somebody doing the show, I feel like the fans really like this team.
Oh, yeah.
This is a team that they really feel like to get behind. I think for, us, we're of the age where we watch the 90s Knicks, and Knicks fans out there know this as well, too. They're a very gritty, hard-nosed team.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see, this is a follow-up on this, do you see any similarities between the team of that era with this team, and do you think that's why this team, the fans have ingratiated themselves so much with this current team?
Absolutely. I mean, you see the grit, the toughness that Jalen Brunson brings every game. I mean, not only him, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, when Mitch is healthy, Julius Randle. I mean, we have some gritty guys on our team. And then you got the Dante DiVincenzo's. He's a little more cool, but he's ready. He's ready at all times.
And then Deuce, I mean, come on. We're so happy to see him have this opportunity and for him to be shining. And it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
All right, this is good. See, that doesn't sound stressful. You guys don't sound stressed.
No, we're not.
I heard it happen.
The refs stress us out.
Understood.
Okay? And we're going to leave it at that.
Understood. You don't want any fines. No fines. You don't want fines. No fines here. Jasmine, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Because there's been so much talk with this Knicks team about getting healthy and getting the guys back on the court. We've seen the injuries this year. So we just saw, and this was huge for Knicks fans and the Knicks, we witnessed as those watching the team, Mitchell Robinson returns to the court. So we saw that. But do you think we're going to see Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, and Julius Randle all back on the court together before the start of the playoffs? Will we see that?
Well, That's a tough one because obviously it's something we would all love to see. We'd all love to be able to get a few games in before the playoffs so that everybody can get reacclimated with each other and just, playing ball, right? But will we actually see that? It's so up in the air because the Knicks, they're pretty tight-lipped about when the players are going to come back. I mean, Mitch came back. He went from unavailable to then he was active one night, right? So we would love to see it, and if we are able to get those wheels greased before the playoffs, it's going to be a very special playoff run for us. But I don't know. It's
mum's the
too
word
hard
with
to
it.
tell.
Mum is the word with it, and they have been mum about the injuries. You're right about that.
Yes.
But it would be nice if they can get those guys back to sort of regain. You talked about the chemistry a lot there, Jennifer. Just regain the chemistry and get them acclimated before the playoff
absolutely.
run. I think fans would like to see this.
Of course.
Speaking of the fans and the fan temperament, okay? Jennifer, I've seen Knicks fans, the confidence. It has evolved. It's been up and down this season.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it feels like the sky's falling. We understand that. As a fan, and you look at the playoffs coming up, what are your thoughts on how this team can do in the upcoming playoffs? Because I've heard everything.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard they won't do anything. I've heard the Knicks are going to win a championship. Some people say Eastern Conference Finals. Where are you? Are you jumping out the window with the championship? Or are you
I'm not jumping out the window, but I'll say this. I'll say that, first off, this season has been extremely competitive throughout the league. I mean, we've seen kind of like a little decline of the super teams. The talent's more evenly spread, so it's made it just more fun. And it's also given like teams like the Knicks opportunities to make some noise in the league, put the league on notice. We got, we are a legitimate bona fide contender. And obviously, the healthiness of our team, of our players, is what's going to determine how far we go. But we can make a super deep playoff push. And I mean, the temperament with the fans. Hey, listen, we're gonna go as far as this team as far as the team takes us. So, like I said, the ceiling's the limit. There's no ceiling with this team. The sky's the limit. We can literally take it all the way. But healthiness is where that's going to be absolutely the determining factor.
Is there a team, Jennifer, that scares you, that you think can stop this team from going in the way? Because you pretty much are kind of saying the only thing that can stop them is themselves. Is there a team that scares you out there? Or
I mean, no team scares me now. No team scares me because, like I said, we've also beaten some of the best teams in the West and in the East, undermanned. And these, January, February, even the beginning of March, we were severely undermanned, but we still rose to the occasion on lots of nights that we were even shocked that we could do. But no, we could go up against anybody. It's just us having to literally study the film. Like, we have to look at the tape on these guys. Every team is different. We have to find out their weaknesses and expose them. And I really don't fear any team, and I don't think our team does either.
There you go. No fear, execute.
That's right.
That's what Jennifer's about. Jasmine.
Yes.
Now, obviously, we talked about this. You guys are both lifelong Knicks fans. You've seen up years. You've seen down years with the team.
Sure have.
How do you think the team's performance over the last 4 years, and I put that timeline because this is the time we've seen under head coach Tom Thibodeau, how do you think the last 4 years has impacted fan engagement and excitement that you guys see with the events that you do?
Oh, for sure. So anytime the team is winning, that's just amazing on so many different levels. So fans want to be engaging on social media. Yes. They want to go to games. They want to just, talk, have banter with their friends and family just about the Knicks. So the Knicks are just on the top of your mind at
all times.
All times during the day, right? I mean, the better the team does, the better our events are, the more engagement there's going to be, the more excitement there's going to be at our events and all just within the Knicks fan community. I mean, again, the better the team does, the better the fan base is emotionally and in all facets. I mean, the Knicks' success definitely affects the fan base, and right now, we're doing the best that we've done in a while.
And I got to think, Jasmine, that you've seen when they're more successful. You just felt the difference in energy at the events that you guys had. It's a different energy, right?
Without a doubt. Like, we used to call, OmniFan, we were like a support group. But now we don't need that title anymore.
We used to say group therapy. But,
we don't need that anymore.
Absolutely. And it's also been really great to see with the growth of the team, the growth of the fan base. We see new fans. Obviously, we're some of like the OG fans to the, at this point. But it's been beautiful to see new content creators, new fans come up from like when Melo and Stat came to the team. We're seeing a whole new generation of Knicks fans, and it's just rewarding. It's like a cycle, and it's a beautiful one at that.
It's a beautiful cycle. And listen, Everybody likes the upcycle, right?
Absolutely.
It's a lot better.
Yes, we're definitely upcycling.
everybody likes the upcycle there.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, let me ask you this, because there's been great growth for you guys with Knicks OmniFan, right?
Yes.
You've seen yourself grow over the years. I see fans engaging with both you guys on social media and at events. How do you see Knicks OmniFan evolving or expanding in the future? Because I know for anybody who creates something, it's always about growth and expansion.
Absolutely.
Right? We always want to grow and evolve.
Absolutely.
How do you see Knicks OmniFan evolving in the future?
Well, there's so many opportunities for growth for OmniFan. I mean, well, first off, I mean, this summer, we're going back to the drawing board with Jay Ellis. We have our Knick Tac-Toe game show that there's nothing like it in the Knicks multiverse, as we say. And that's something that we're just trying to bring new creative takes on things. And so Knick Tac-Toe is one of those things. Then obviously we want to curate just more unique fan experiences. So we want to do things like cocktail tastings and game nights and road trips. So we just want to expand what we're doing event-wise, and then also just offer this type of service to other sports teams, other teams within the NBA, but anything with any entity with a fan base. I mean, our concept is scalable. It's a loyalty rewards concept. So we have an app that's also in development that's going to act as an automated kind of point system where you'll be rewarded and awarded points for certain actions, and then you'll be able to turn these points for real life prizes. So we have a lot going on in the background, more than what meets the eye. You don't see it all up front, but we are working. We are in the lab.
It is coming.
We're in the lab.
I'm excited about that app too. That's really,
Thank you.
That's really good. That's going to be good for the connectivity among
Yes,
fans.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to have to download that and get on that. You know, I got to get my points up.
That's right. Get your points up.
I got to make sure.
That's right.
Absolutely.
This one for you both,
Yes.
because you're very involved in events and, different games,
Yes.
whether it's at the Garden or elsewhere.
Yeah.
You bring people into the Knicks community. You bring people together. That's something you guys talked about at the top, right? Liking to bring people together. Have you ever allowed yourself to think, and this makes me happy to ask this question, what it would be like for you, because you're watching these games with so many people.
Absolutely.
Have you allowed yourself to think what it would be like for the both of you to watch the Knicks win a championship while hosting a Knicks OmniFan event? Come on, you had to
The thought of that is like, oh, right.
It just gives me chills.
Right, we've thought about it, but it's literally one of those things. I mean, we've never experienced, we don't have children, we're not married. So some of those big lifelong, those milestones, we've not experienced. But let me tell you, if we get blessed enough in our lifetimes to see the Knicks win, especially when we're hosting an event, I mean...
Right, to be there with the people that have supported us and to be there as a unit with our family, as we call them,
emotions.
it will just be the most emotional thing that we would, I don't know, that we might have ever experienced.
We'll be in tears. We'll be crying, laughing, jumping up and down. I mean, literally anything you could think of. Like, the roof will be off the building, wherever we are.
And the reason I asked that question to you, right, is because I think when fans see their team win for the first time, obviously you've seen people get very emotional. They're obviously pumped up. You see championship parade, people will be there and pumped up, right? But I think the reason I asked that because I assumed it would mean something even different to you both, or maybe in a different scale or way, because it's around this thing that you've created for fans that you can actually experience with them at the same time. And so for you, it would almost be, like you said, I guess OmniFan is your baby. Let's just put it like that. This is your baby,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes,
so
it is.
you're getting to see the joy of this with other people. And that would be pretty, I'm wishing that for you.
Thank you. We're praying for it.
Yes.
We're
Well, a lot of Knicks fans have been praying to see a championship
absolutely.
since 1973. So we know they've been praying for that as
for
well, too.
years.
So I can see how that would mean a lot. Okay.
Absolutely.
This has been fun. But last thing for me,
Yes.
ladies, the thing I want both of you to share for people out there, I hope they've learned about your work through this interview, but what message would you like to share with New York Knicks fans and supporters as they continue to not just support the team, but also support Knicks OmniFan? What's the message you have to the Knicks fans out there who will continue to support this team and support you in what you do? What's your message?
Well, Knicks fans, just want to say, keep the faith alive. Keep coming out to the Garden. Keep coming out on the road, because us road warriors, we make the difference.
We really do.
Keep cheering. Keep, just keep the Knicks
legacy alive.
Yes, like just keep doing what you're doing, because our time is coming. We've had the trials and tribulations. We've been through it all.
Yes.
But our time is coming, Knicks fans. It's
Absolutely.
coming.
And I would also like to say just thank you for the continued support. It means the world to Jasmine and I. I mean, we wouldn't have it any other way. And last thing I'm going to say is tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Yes.
And we're going to be here to stay.
That's right.
I like that message. That's a good message. Look,
Thank you.
I told you guys I'm a big fan of what you do. I love what you do. I'm honored to have both of you come up here to New York Got Game to talk basketball, to talk about what you do with Knicks OmniFan. I'm wishing you all the blessings. I'm hoping
Thank
that
you.
dream we talked about comes true.
Oh,
that
yes.
you're able to watch a Knicks championship while you're hosting an event.
Yes,
Feels
thank
like
you.
it would be
Yes.
a pretty great moment.
It would be, we talked about full circle moments, but that would be the ultimate full circle
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
So,
it
Without
would
a
be.
doubt.
Everybody, please go support these two ladies, Jennifer and Jasmine Gordon. Check them out, the founders of Knicks OmniFan. They do such great work. If you want to know anything about them, just give them a follow. They're doing great stuff. And you want to see them around a Knicks game? Oh, trust me, they'll be there. You want to see an event
They're there.
around a Knicks game?
We'll be there,
They will be
yes,
there too.
absolutely,
Ladies,
sure.
thank you so much. I gotta have you
thank
guys
you for
back.
having us.
I gotta have you
We'd
guys
love
back.
to.
we would love to anytime. You hit our line, we're here.
I know how to get you. You guys will be back for sure.
Thank you so
Appreciate y'all.
much.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, another great interview. Thank you to my guests, Jasmine and Jennifer Gordon of Knicks OmniFan, and all the great work that they do. We'll see how the Knicks continue through the rest of the season as we are getting closer to the playoffs. I'm so excited for playoff basketball here in New York. Time to bounce here on New York Got Game. As always, I got to thank the people that make this great show possible. My director, Brianna Mutindashiaka, my producer, Lee Insler, and my editor, Antonio Oliveras Nicole. I'm Dexter Henry for New York Got Game. We'll see you next time.
And thanks for watching New York Got Game. Boom shakalaka.